Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Chad with US Wine Imports, and I just wanted to do a little overview here of the service procedure kit and how to use it, how to deploy it in the Code 38 Corkscrew here, which is the professional wine tool down in Australia. This one we have here is one of the early models. This whole series actually has been discontinued. There were some issues with supplying these metal injection chassis. The body here is all metal injection molded. There's a new model that's in the works right now, but for now what we have are these, the Code 38. And so this one was brought back to me from one of our sommeliers here in the Metro Detroit area. Saw some pretty heavy use, and as you can hear, maybe there's the blade doesn't have sufficient tension on it. When you open it up here, the lever is a little, a little loose. So when I looked at it actually right away, I could see, because of this gap here in the back, what was going on. There's the main screw here is just a small, I think it's probably, geez, what is that, a 2 mil maybe, 1.5 mil screw that keeps the upper and lower chassis part together. The way it works inside, which we'll see, is that it provides tension on the spring when it's completely tightened. So I think has happened here, I'm sure has happened, is that it's just simply unscrewed and it's not as tight as it should be. But this being an older model too, it has the old just plain stainless helix on it, and the new models have the Thai Thai carbon nitride, I think, coating on it. They have a special coating that's gives them a little nicer appearance and also a little more durability. And that's what we have here in the service kit, which I'll tip down and I'll show you here. So this is the Code 38 service kit. As you can see here, it just comes in this nifty little box, and what we have inside here is one of the helixes. This one again with the coating on it, a Allen key for the disassembly of the body, and a replacement screw, the main chassis screw. So let's start by taking out the Allen key here. Just open up the unit here, and let's just try something first. Let's do the little tensioning and see if that is in fact what might be going on here, as I suspect. And it is loose, so just put a little. It's small, so you don't want to over torque this to make sure that the thing is seated securely. Ooh, I might have done that. That's okay, we're going to reassemble it anyway. But you can see it has in fact closed that gap at the back, and yeah, there's a nice little solid action in the with the helix, and the blade comes up, no more slop. So in that case, this is a very simple thing that would have restored this to a good operating condition. But as I said, we have the kit here. We'll replace this helix, and doing the service also gives you a chance to clean these out as well, especially when you're in a heavy commercial situation like a sommelier. As I said, this was a sommelier's key. It's in and out of the pocket. There's a lot of dust. You're in the restaurant. There's also oil and things flying around, so it can get pretty gummy. I actually did take this one apart earlier. Let's go back, just to show you what I'm doing here is unscrewing that main screw. So I already cleaned it off, but it's a good opportunity to take to open the thing up and clean it up. So remove the screw. You can see there, I think this one had a little bit of a thread locker on there, just to keep it secure. If you want to do with the new key, use a little bit of Loctite Blue, just a little dab to keep the vibrations in place, but you should still be able to unlock it with the small amount of torque that's available to you on the key here. In any case, if you use any, I don't know if you need it, but if you wanted to, if you're having problems with it coming loose, which has not been my experience, but use the very lightest thread locker you can. Again, these are small screw heads, and you don't have a lot of torque you can apply to that to break that. So use a real light one. But after you remove that, bring the key back over, and then you'll see you can just slide back the chassis a little bit here. You can lift it up from the back and wiggle it free, okay? We'll set this one down, and then inside here you can see, I hope, This is very simple, really. It's just there's the main spring that provides tension both at the pivot for the helix and then at the back here as well for the blade. Let's lift that out. You can go back into that little hole there and put a little bit of pressure on the catch the edge of the blade. You can see it pops up there. You can grab that and lift that right out. So that's just the main spring. Again, a nice little piece of stainless here. Clean this up, use a little degreaser or whatever, and as you can see here, I've kind of tidied things up. It was quite gummy in there. So we'll start removing that. Let me tip this down so you can see as I'm placing things here. Move this to the side. And then just lift the screw out, the helix. You can start by just pushing it up, like so. And then you can see there's a little notch over there, right over here. So migrate over that way, and then that, push it through, and it's a channel all the way on the other side here. You can see on the bottom. And then just pull that down, like so, and that comes out. Set down the main body. There's a small pivot pin, you can see here, that goes through there. You want to remove that, and again, when you're doing this, just slide it either way. It should slide out both ways. There we are. When you're doing this, you want to go through and clean all these things up. I've already done that, back here. A little bit of degreaser. Set these aside. Then we'll go to the upper case here. Again, same kind of a situation here. Flip the press up on the blade, and you can slide that right out. It also has that same pin here. Just push that through. Remove that. And that's the complete. The complete key. So you got your two pivots, the helix, spring, knife, top case, nothing more in here. Again, I just cleaned out the little rest area here where the pivot sets. I cleaned that out with a little degreaser, a little, it's a little toothpick and a rag just to clean that up. Tidied all that up. And then the bottom case. We're not going to address the spring, or I'm sorry, the boot lever hinge right now. These tend to stay nice and snug. You can see this one is fine. I guess they're self-adjusting or something, I'm not quite sure, but we can address that maybe in a later video. So once that's disassembled, we can go back to the service kit here, and we'll just take out the the new helix. Again, you can see this has the coating on it. This one has also got the conical shape as well, so it's a little bit wider at the back than it is at the tip here. So we'll start with that. We'll remove also the new screw. I think it's not exactly necessary, but we have it, so we might as well use it. So the assembly is just the reverse again. So take a pin. You might see on one of these, I don't know if you can see it here, but one of these have a little bit more grooving. The helix pivot sees a little more action than you get at the knife end. So I don't know that it matters if you put back the same one, but let's do that. So again, just insert that little hinge in there. Go back and removal, or reinstallation is installation is reverse of the removal. So just put it in the, make sure it stays in place there. Slide that in that little notch again there. Push it up through. Oop, popped right out. Let's put it back in. There we go. Set this upright. I'm hoping you can see it still. And then just, move this over. After you've cleaned all that out, let's see. Let's get it. Wiggle it over. There we go. And then pull it down and set that right in. And so that's locked in place there. The next step would be to take the main the main spring here. Set that in. It just drops right in place. Just make sure you have, of course, the hole lined up with that. We'll fold that down, set it down, and return to the top case here, and reinstall the knife here. So again, just putting the blade, or the pivot in the blade, like so. Flipping it over. Make sure you have the knife oriented properly so it's going to set in the groove. And then just slide this in, like so. Yep. Boom. Bring the two parts, hold that spring. There we go. so it doesn't pop out. Then take the two parts and put them back together. So just simply drop the upper part in. You see you're kind of closing the gap at the front, which is what you want. And then, yeah, let it set down. You're going to have this little gap at the back, but the main part, the main thing you're doing here at this stage is making sure the holes are aligned so you can put that screw back in. Returning to the new screw, drop it in, torque it, so start to screw it so you get a little bite here. Let's do that. There we are. And as that's screwing in, what I like to do at this stage, close the knife, make sure the tension is off the spring, makes it a little bit easier. I like to squeeze the end here as well. You can see how the spring is loading up because it pops the helix up. But it makes screwing it in a little bit easier, reduces the amount of tension you have on that screw. And then snug this down. So get it started here. Screw that in all the way. See, it's almost there. Then I like to return to the long part so I have a little better leverage. Make sure it's well seated. Snug it up. Again, I don't have a torque wrench here. I don't know what the exact spec is, but don't overdo it because it's a very small head. It's easy to strip out. So I just snugged it. Let's see how it feels. Sounds nice positive snap. Oh, one thing to note too, when you're reinstalling this helix, I did it just out of habit, but you want to make sure that the first turn is open, because it will, if the bottom part of the first turn is up here, it's not going to set against the chassis as it should. So just make sure when you're reinstalling it that the drop is right up at the top, so it starts down and then sweeps back up instead of the other way around, you know, up like that. You know, wouldn't want that. So like so, and then that's it. That's basically the entire procedure. And as you can see, you know, the helix sets up there very nicely. Real nice positive action on the knife. And that's that. The one other thing that you might do, you wouldn't want to put a heavy grease in here because you don't want to have contaminants sticking and grinding away at the case. A little light machine oil on each of the pivot points. That would be a nice thing to add in there too, I think, just for, you know, just to make the action a little more satisfying. But that's it. So that's the Code 38 service, and yeah. Keep on enjoying these keys. As I say, we'll see a new model coming out. It's not going to have, I hope Jeff doesn't mind if I drop a little bit, but it's not going to be a metal injected chassis anymore. It's looking at CNC machining, but some cool, neat features. But in the meantime, these are the originals, and they're worth maintaining and keeping in good use. So it's got the weight, it's got a great feel to it, the action is great. So take care of them. Contact Code 38 if you're having any you know, any issues, you know, like with a sloppy knife or a bent helix, or if you just want to update, as we did in this one, from the from the original stainless to the new coatings. All right, thanks for watching. Take care.